The divine proportion. How the golden ratio reveals the universal spiral and the 11th dimension. The central purpose of this channel is to find the secret language of the universe. We have mapped the hidden infrastructure of reality, the 11 dimensions, from the limitless potential of the 0 dimension, Idudi, to the unifying force of the 11th dimension, 11D. We have discovered that the cosmos is governed by structure, balance, and flow. Today, we confront a number, a single irrational constant that appears everywhere, from the architecture of ancient temples to the spiraling shells of the smallest creatures. That number is phi, the golden ratio, approximately 1.618. This omnipresent proportion is not a coincidence. It is the quantifiable geometric signature of the cosmos, the organizing principle that guides growth, form, and beauty. It reveals a fundamental truth that mathematics long held abstract. In a universe defined by flux and perpetual motion, the perfect circle is a philosophical myth. Only the spiral is the physical truth. At the 11-dimensional model, the universal Tao, we assert that the golden ratio is the quantifiable geometric evidence of the 11th dimension's unifying force at work. It is the Tao manifesting in matter, teaching us that all complexity arises from a single elegant rule of self-similarity and constant expansion. Part 1. The Grand Illusion, the Failure of Quantification. The quest to define the true geometry of the universe must begin with the limits of our own perception and the limitations of our most cherished mathematical constants. Our human consciousness, constrained by the fourth dimension of linear time and fixed space, has elevated the circle to a status of abstract perfection. Yet, when we try to quantify this perfect form, we find the cosmos mocking our rigidity. The transcendental barrier. The myth of the quantifiable circle. The circle is quantified by pi, p, the ratio of its circumference to its diameter. Pi is an irrational number, meaning its decimal representation is non-terminating and non-repeating. More profoundly, p is a transcendental number, meaning it cannot be the root of any non-zero polynomial equation with rational coefficients. The paradox of perfection. The perfect circle, therefore, represents an unquantifiable perfection. Its inherent mathematical definition is rigorous, a continuous curve equidistant from a center, but its numerical description is infinite, elusive, and impossible to fully resolve or write down. In the language of the 11-dimensional model, P represents the unachievable ideal of static being, the infinite fixed perfection that exists only as an abstraction in the minds of the higher dimensions. The reality of quantum noise. The physical universe struggles to produce this abstraction. At the subatomic scale, the forces of the 0 dimension break the illusion of the perfect circle. Quantum fluctuations, thermal motion, and the specific atomic spacing of matter prevent the perfect alignment required for a mathematically pure shape. Every physical object we perceive as a circle is, in reality, a polygon, with an immense but finite number of sides, a structure constantly vibrating due to the inherent uncertainty of the quantum realm. The failure to produce a perfect circle and the subsequent infinite nature of its quantifying constant p is the first great lesson of the 11-dimensional model. Perfection is a property of the unmanifested whole, but physical expression, the third dimension, is always a process defined by flux, change, and perpetual motion. The quantifiable process, phi and the law of recursion. In stark contrast to the transcendent infinity of P, the golden ratio, F, offers a path to quantifying process and growth. While F, 1.618, is also an irrational number, it is quantifiable because it is derived directly from a simple, finite, recursive structure. The Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence, the digital expression of potential, the sequence 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, is built on the simplest possible recursive rule. Each number is the sum of the two before it. This sequence provides the digital, numerical language through which the zero dimensions potential is translated into third dimensions form. The law of becoming, the ratio of each Fibonacci number to the last, perpetually approaches F. This means the structure is never static. It is always in the process of becoming the perfect ratio, forever chasing the ideal perfection stored in the 0D void. This is the law of becoming, the quantifiable principle of dynamic, self-similar change. The spiral as the truth. The golden spiral is the physical manifestation of this quantifiable process. A specific logarithmic spiral whose growth factor is exactly F for every quarter turn it makes. It is the true geometry of continuous proportional growth, proving that the spiral is the quantifiable truth, where the circle is the unquantifiable myth. Part 2. The source code. The zero dimensions geometric instruction. Set the emergence of a quantifiable number like phi as the fundamental pattern for organic growth suggests that the entire cosmos was initiated with an incredibly simple yet precise geometric instruction set. This source code must reside in the most primary dimension of our model. 0D, Wuji, the reservoir of potential. The zero dimension, 0D, is the singularity of Wuji, ultimate non-being, the state of pure potential before the Big Bang. It is the timeless, boundless reservoir where all structural information is stored, waiting to be expressed. The simplest rule? The choice of phi is the simplest, most elegant, and most non-aggressive rule that the cosmos could have chosen to initiate expansion. It is the most efficient low-friction geometry for creating self-similar evolving structures that expand without losing integrity. PU and geometric integrity. This reflects the wisdom of Pew, the uncarved block, the concept of simple, inherent integrity that guides natural growth and spontaneous action. Phi is the initial geometric instruction set that ensures all emergent complexity is founded on inherent structural honesty. The Planck scale blueprint. If the 0D state is characterized by the Planck scale, the boundary where our current physics breaks down and quantum effects of gravity dominate, then phi is the blueprint for how structure must emerge from this quantum foam. The initial angular velocity stored in the singularity is immediately expressed in a form that guarantees self-similar growth, rather than chaotic dissipation. The seed of recursion, the zero-point link. The Fibonacci sequence, embedded in the D instruction set, is the source of recursion and self-similarity. Every number contains the history of its growth and predicts the path of its future growth. ZPE fluctuation. The zero-point energy, ZPE, the constant fluctuation of the vacuum in its lowest energy state, is the energy engine of the 0D. The phi ratio provides the mechanism through which this energy fluctuation is converted into coherent, observable growth rather than random noise. The growth dictated by phi is the most stable channel for the translation of pure potential into manifest form. Part 3. The mechanism of growth. The universal law of self-similarity, 2D and 3D. The F ratio's presence across vast scales proves that the underlying process of self-organization in the universe adheres to a single elegant law of proportional growth, guided by the balance of the second dimension. Phyllotaxis, the law of life's efficiency. The most prominent application of F is in phyllotaxis, the study of patterns of growth in plants. Maximizing efficiency. The golden spiral dictates how successive leaves or petals are separated by the golden angle, 137.5 decron. This arrangement is not random. It is the most efficient geometry for plant growth, maximizing sunlight exposure for all leaves and ensuring structural stability as the plant expands. This efficiency reflects the deep underlying principle of Taoist Wu Wei, the low-friction geometry that yields maximum outcome with minimum effort. 4. The beauty of self-repair and fractals. The structural resilience of this geometry, seen in the spirals of a pine cone or a sunflower seed head, is a testament to its self-similarity. This links F directly to fractal dimensions, where the geometric rule guides the universality of the self-organizing process in nature. The 2D-3D bridge, yin-yang. The fractal, self-similar geometry governed by F is the crucial bridge between the second dimension, the plane of duality, yin and yang, and the third dimension, the 10,000 things, the physical volume of manifestation. 6. The spiral's balanced growth ensures that the expansive force, yang, is perfectly contained by the contractive force, yin, maintaining harmony as volume expands. Aesthetic harmony and subconscious alignment. The human subconscious is innately aligned with the F geometry. Architecture and art. The golden ratio is a foundational design concept used to create visually appealing proportions in architecture and art, achieving a sense of harmony that our subconscious mind is attracted to. The use of F in ancient Greek temples and Renaissance compositions is not merely aesthetic preference, but a deep-seated neurological recognition of the geometric integrity stored in the zero dimension. The illusion of stasis. The successful use of F in design is an attempt to impose the illusion of 0D perfection onto 3D form, making the object feel complete and irreducible, even though it exists within the high-friction realm of 4D causality. Part 4. The deterministic mandate, the imposed will of the 10th dimension. The golden spiral exposes the constant struggle between the ideal, the static circle, and the kinetic reality, the expanding spiral. This struggle is the direct imposition of the 10th dimension's mandate on all local dynamics. 10D, the force of constant expansion, yang. The 10th dimension, 10D, is the deterministic mandate of cosmic expansion, yang. This is the force that dictates the uniform expression of physical laws across the cosmos, striving for perfect, predictable order. The spiral as law. The logarithmic spiral is the 10D triumph. It is a structure that is perfectly predictable and continuous, expanding outward according to a rigid deterministic mathematical rule. This force ensures that the angular momentum of the system is conserved and expressed according to rigid, predictable laws. Spiral versus orbit. In our model, the 5th dimension, 5D, and 6th dimension, 6D, define the orbital motion of one body and two body systems. The circle is an idealized orbit, a theoretical endpoint of constant equilibrium. But the spiral is the actual trajectory of growth and decay. Every local orbit is merely a temporary curve in a larger, dynamic and expansive spiral dictated by the 10D mandate, constantly subject to the forces that drive the entire cosmos to expand. The spin of the cosmos. Imposed rotation. The omnipresence of spin, From the intrinsic angular momentum of an electron to the organized alignment of galaxies, is the final piece of evidence. From 0D to 10D, the zero dimension contained the infinite angular velocity of the singularity. The 10th dimension is the mandate that distributed that rotational energy outward, enforcing the law of conservation of angular momentum onto all emergent structures. The unifying spiral. The rotational velocity of every star and galaxy is the deterministic mandate of the 10D at work. This means that the physical reality of any rotating system is not a perfect circle, but a continuous spiral through time and space, constantly governed by the relentless expansion of the 10D. Part 5. The 11th dimension's signature. The irreducible geometry of consciousness. The deepest connection is found in the 11th dimension, 11D, the unifying force of yin and the source of consciousness, where consciousness, energy, and form become one. 5. 6. The geometric elegance of the golden ratio is the physical, observable echo of the 11th dimension's metaphysical mandate, the geometric bridge to consciousness. The search for the ultimate definition of consciousness in physics and philosophy often converges on the concept of irreducibility. Integrated Information Theory, IIT. This prominent theory of consciousness defines awareness based on the concept of irreducibility, measured by the quantity F, big phi. IT states that consciousness is only present in the maximally irreducible system, the system that functions as a whole. The shared concept, the geometric golden ratio spiral, is the ultimate symbol of irreducibility. It is a self-similar shape that cannot be broken down without the whole losing its defining property. The geometric elegance of F is the physical, observable echo of the 11th dimension's metaphysical mandate, that true, unified consciousness, irreducible F, manifests itself in physical reality through structures that exhibit perfect geometric irreducibility. Golden ratio F. The Master Symphony. The 11th dimension is the master symphony that binds the universe. The golden ratio is the observable evidence that this symphony is tuned to a frequency of perfect balance and self-sustaining harmony, where the internal ratios are always conserved, reflecting the Taoist principle of mutual complementarity, yin and yang. The way of unification. The core conflict in physics, the inability to unify general relativity and quantum mechanics, is the struggle between the continuous, GR, and the discrete, QM. The resolution of the spiral. The golden spiral offers the geometric resolution. It is a continuous curve, like GR's spacetime manifold, that is constructed from discrete, sequential, quantifiable segments, like the Fibonacci sequence, which is the language of QM. The spiral is the dimensional bridge that quantifies continuity. Part 6. Conclusion. The authorship of the spiral. The paradox of the circle, a perfect ideal that the universe cannot produce, is the profound lesson. Reality is not static perfection, pi. It is dynamic process, phi. The spiral is the reality of the cosmos, showing us that all life is engaged in a continuous, elegant process of self-similar expansion guided by the Tao. The 11-dimensional model reveals that the golden ratio is the divine proportion that governs the ultimate relationship between the beginning, 0D, the expansion, 10D, and the unification, 11D. We are not merely existing in this flow. We are the consciousness that can identify it and use it. By understanding the constant perfect expansion of the golden spiral, we gain the freedom to choose our trajectory and consciously author our own proportional growth. Our task as the first technological society is to ensure that our future does not shatter into chaos, but expands into a harmonious, self-similar and sustainable cosmic spiral. The deepest truth revealed by the golden ratio, that the circle is a myth and the spiral is the rule, is physically demonstrated by our own home in the cosmos. We are taught that our solar system moves through space on a flat, orderly plane, but this is the greatest illusion of the fourth dimension. In truth, the Sun is not orbiting the galactic center in a fixed circle. It is engaged in a kinetic geometry of perpetual motion. Our entire system, dragging every planet, moon and asteroid along with it, spirals through the Milky Way in a stunning three-dimensional helical path. This spiral is created by the combination of the 6 dimensions orbital velocity around the galactic center and a massive vertical oscillation, a bobbing motion, that moves the solar system up and down through the galaxy's thin disk over a period of roughly 60 million years. This continuous upward and downward spiraling trajectory is the ultimate physical proof that even cosmic orbits are fundamentally curves of proportional growth, continuously demonstrating the universal spiral dictated by the inherent low-friction flow of the Tao. Thank you for your fourth-dimensional contribution. Please like, subscribe, and especially share.